started. Good morning, everyone. Happy Halloween.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, for our technical committee, October 31st, and we do have a quorum, and so public comments, I don't see any, and see anybody here. So moving on to item number 4 for approval of minutes for the September 19th meeting. So, any questions, comments? Approval. Okay. Ryan.
Second.
Okay, Jerry. Further discussion? Hearing none, those who in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Hearing none, it's been approved. Item number, looks like item number 5 to 9 can be considered together, no objections. So Derek, if you don't mind, give us a background.
I'll take these in 2 blocks. 17 through 19 amendments are related. They're all for contract 70F19. What's going on here is the traffic signals were removed from the scope of the project, so the project decreased in cost that way, but it actually increased the cost also. So it shows that it's a decreasing cost, but what's happened is the local and state parts of it popped out into a separate PPS number. So that's a big 18. You can see the $417,000 in state and local. And the last line is a utility adjustment that carried over from the previous year, from FY25. The second block is 20 and 21. They're related. And all that's going on here is that they just moved the local funding out into a separate PPS number. So it just shows $409,000 in local.
Since you're now including it, what does PPS
do? What is it? Some programming thing. It's separate records in programming. So
okay.
Like you have another record, which is like the last 4 digits is 0000. And then
another record?
Yeah, that's what we call another record. So it's like that. Yeah, it's like the parent record. That's amazing. So like if you have a separate PPS number, like it would be like 1,000, 2,000, 4,000. Sometimes it's 0100. Yes.
Okay.
We could make something up, Jen. Yeah. Right.
So
What would you like for it?
Let the minutes
well, there you
show
go.
another record.
It's Halloween, we're having fun.
I guess it's called this so much, it was what I called it. But yeah, so that's what separate PPS.
We didn't even tell about the crystal report yet.
Yeah, that's where
That's right, let's do that in there.
some secrets are better.
All right. Now to
I don't mess with that one, so.
All right, good. Discussion, question, comments? Committee?
Move to approve as presented.
Okay, if that's items 5 through 9. Second?
Second.
Okay. Derek, further discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, those amendments 17 through 21st, or 21st are approved. Moving on to project updates, I have a feel, and then if anybody want to add to it, that'd be fine. Veterans Parkway corridor project, planning project, there will be public open houses next week. They will be held Tuesday and Wednesday in the evening, 6 to 8. And then there's also a separate for the business community type meeting, the Tuesday afternoon at 3:30, also will be held by the consultants and us, MCRPC staff. And so those will be in person. And we will also on November the 12th, a virtual public open house, 6 to 8 also.
not sure how that's going to work.
Yeah, we'll make it up. Let's give people a chance. If they cannot make it in person, they can do it virtually. They can still participate. Basically, the objective is to get input and comments and the feedback, because as most of you know this by now, is we are kind of halfway for the 2-year project, really, supposed to be on September 2026. And so we're halfway through it at a point where looking at different alternatives and then narrowing down to a preferred alternative. So this the period where the consultants would like to get some public input and see how the alternatives are being viewed at. Yeah. So so if you can get the word out, get folks or whoever might be interested to come up to those meetings. The Tuesday ones will be held at the Most Lodge on IAA Drive, and then Wednesday night will be at the Public Library downtown Bloomington. In the virtual one, we have the Zoom link on our website, mcplan.org. People can refer to it. So that's one for the Veterans Spotlight project. The other project that you and by now aware, as we talked about last meeting, is the YouTube thing, converting from the traditional to the electronic. So IDOT's consultant has been helping us through that process. We're getting close to the end of it, and there will be kind of a kick-off in terms of the conversion process, November the 10th, I think. And then, so as Jan and Thomas mentioned at the last meeting, we'll try to get all our partners, especially the folks, public works, engineering, transit folks, to kind of get familiar with the new ETIP. So Thomas, just prior to this meeting, sent an email with some materials, so when you get a chance to go back to the office, please review and get familiar with it. Because I think the first year, I think Jen will probably do more just for MCRPC staff to get a good handle of how this will work, and then before involving you all directly, but then it will be good for you all, especially the local partners, to get familiar with it. If there's any bugs need to be worked out in the system, that we have time to do it. So Jen, anything else to add, or Thomas, anything else to add? And Thomas, also printed out some information sheet to help the tutorial. So you'll pass those out after the meeting for our local partners. So Jen, anything else to help?
Just that we're going to do a sort of parallel process for a while, because I want to get the multi-year program list in before we start from the ground. But I'm also going to maintain like the PDFs that we have of all the amendments, so that we have a backup in case I push the wrong button or it first turns on us. And then we'll figure out, part of this is to get us prepped for after New Year's, or as soon as possible, we start taking a stab at all the agencies that are contributors to our TIP, including the transit system and all of you guys. Sort of take a look at where you think you are for 27 through 31. And seeing how the system works for you and if we need to tweaks done or anything like that.
Yeah, so so Thomas has that handout that we'll pass out after the meeting to you all. And check the email, has more information in that email. Questions on YouTube? Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, please.
I know I don't have anything to do with entry, but eventually I'll need to access, but I think I'll get that just because it's on the website.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how the permissions go. Thomas, do we have to, would it be better for us to give, a password or access directly or something to all of our friendly neighborhood partners? Or should we just let them come in through website?
So each person, each group that's involved in this process role has their own individual user and password. So you, me, and Ray have added
Administrators.
user. Our friends here will be sponsor user, and sponsor user has its own unique username and password.
They'll be actually putting their information in to the portal, and you can customize it as you
Right,
get
right.
familiar with it.
Yeah, we can definitely
And I have it in here.
add you to be, I mean, Jen, unless you have, some other ways, I don't have a problem to add, the IDOT folks, even on that level, because I know IDOT has,
Yeah.
you have a different ways to access it anyway,
And,
but just to do it.
25% of the amendments to county list.
Yeah, we can add you to this.
So,
We're sponsor level.
but I would assume so for the district offices, just because of this exact question.
Yeah.
Just make the switch.
But I don't have access to what goes, except for when it goes live, then I can look at it just like from Everyday Citizen,
Right,
and I can get my project name and stuff, because I need Springfield to be able to also see that
Mhm.
on the website to show the feds that it's
Yeah,
there.
we had long conversations about things like,
Okay.
project names or titles as opposed to all the numbers and.
Okay.
and we're still working through some of that
Got it.
as we, and that, the sort of test run is the multi-year program. Do you have any idea how many projects that is?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, that's fine.
I do have it condensed down into one document where I popped out all of district funds, but I have not made it where it's just county.
Okay.
So, yeah, that would be a much better.
One thing I'll add that's interesting is CMAT Chicago has been utilizing Echo Interactive for a number of years. But SEMPO, Southeast MPO, Cape Girardeau has had it in play for a couple of years. And MoDOT has had, you'll have new folks, local roads will have one of the bigger challenges in data input. But once the transition is done, both the complexity of Chicago and the simplicity of Cape Girardeau have both had good experience.
Yeah, it's hard to think of a bigger contrast.
Right.
Community.
Kind of interesting.
And actually, I haven't had the first entry for Kuwats yet because, they run on every other month or every 3-month schedule, so our entry hasn't happened yet. So I don't have any experience with it yet.
And, I think we're all gonna be sort of,
Yeah, soon, I think.
well, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be
Like I
pretty
said,
soon.
our formal, switch, activate the database part is November 10th, in less than 2 weeks from now.
So for training purposes, I have a general sponsor email and password, but then once this thing starts up, we can create individual profiles, and you guys will have your own.
Sounds good. Any further discussion, questions? Okay, good, thanks. Yeah, it's a transition, so we'll make sure it works for everyone. Then it's, I think to make the process a bit more efficient and, go more using technology. All right, another thing is, I want to mention, I don't know if there's a project yet, but it's kind of a separate item, is safety target that we, work on, deal with every year. So we plan to as for the NPO, our partners, look at that in some numbers next month's meeting. Jen, you have anything you want to talk about?
Not really, I'm
Wrap
gonna
up.
just sort of get this correlated because there's more than one set. And this also might have some bearing on our task force for GoSafe, our just completed SS4A update. So, I think it's part of the collection of data that we'll want to pull into the task force and say, here's why we have these things, here's the attempt to create targets, here's what we do.
Yeah. So IDOT has said, certain
And as you'll remember with these safe performance measures, most of the MPOs, as with you folks, I believe, have adopted the state's targets, which have been historically a 2% reduction. But with the new SS4A, a number of those that are now going through it, as yourselves, and those that have, will have different targets. because the SS4A has the requirement of the Vision Zero,
Right, yeah.
which is significantly, you can't get there with a 2% reduction. But there's no problem with, the state doesn't, themselves, both MoDOT and IDOT have that 2% reduction. And so it's still acceptable, even though their SS4A targets are different. More aggressive.
In other words, one option is we still, like what we have done in the past, to adopt the state target, and then we can have more aggressive, if you will, but either way, we'll at least at minimum, using the state target.
We've always put in a caveat noting that as our actual numbers are far lower than the state's, because there are 170,000 of us in McLean County, 12 million across the state of Illinois, that we support the state's targets, i.e. a 2% reduction, but ask that they acknowledge, as they have, that a 2% reduction for us would be per person per year, and that we look at it more in the aggregate, because at least you get something closer to all the numbers.
Also, it makes it more difficult to reach that, because a couple of numbers can make it.
In both directions.
Yeah.
If we make
Generally the case is.
Yeah. But it's because of the 2% aspect of the state targets, it's kind of meaningless when you're talking about, a dozen fatal crashes per year rather than hundreds. And so we've sort of said, we're looking for an approach that will help us, save lives rather than count percentages. It's not how I put it in the document. That's sort of the idea that, the math doesn't math quite as well for us, because the numbers are low. And I'm sure that's true for most of the smaller MPs around the state, that, they're not getting wholesale numbers of people dying on the roads. They're getting too many, but still. And now with this, we just completed the SS4A update, and that includes a number of targets. And we are still playing away with the Veterans Parkway project. That too is looking at the rate of fatalities and serious injuries, and of how many of those crashes involve speeding, which is so that's something that's going to be ready through our long-range plan, metropolitan transportation plan as well.
Okay. Any further discussion? So kind of a heads up basically for next month. The safety target item. Last thing I have for myself, for the group, is the kind of update on the outreach on transportation safety messaging. You've heard us talking about. We go staff, MCRPC staff with coordination by Jake. We've gone to like different events, and just this year alone, we have reached have games and swags to give away. We reached out to about over 1,500 people of all the different events. And the two events that have been held since our last meeting here, the day of play in Uptown, and also the trick or treat in the downtown near the square. And even with those two events, we gave away stuff about like 600. So I know there were more kids, for those two events, and adults as well. So we're trying to get a message out. So hopefully that would help, for us to meet the safety target as well. So that's all I have. Any other projects anyone wants to talk about? Give us an update on.
Quick update, if it's okay, Fox Creek Road Bridge Improvement Project going out on Monday. So, happy dance, if I could do a cartwheel right now, I would. It's been a long time standing project.
Yeah.
Whenever I started in 2000 at the city, that was something that was being discussed. And so when you think about all the projects that have taken forever in the city of Bloomington, I've been involved in every one of them, so I can see a pattern. It's my fault, so. Just throw that out.
On that note, just remind me where Hamilton.
Hamilton Road Phase 2 has been bid, let, it's under construction. Phase 1 is punch list finishing up currently, so it's going, but phase 2 is going well to this point. So we encourage everybody to go to our infrastructure dashboard. It's on our website. We actually keep it up to date with everything that we can, all the information, IDOT included, that we know about and is public. So we typically track that with what we have told the public. Anything we've told the public as far as budget, estimates, those kind of things are all out there. We don't modify it every time we do a pay estimate. Otherwise, it would get confusing and the people would be thrown off.
Very good. Very good. Anybody else?
You might have seen on the news, we're taking the underpass project for a contract award to the council on Monday.
Cool.
So, big deal. We want to see what they say. So it's a done deal.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
I like the giggle.
See what
Let that not be reflected in the minutes.
That's the underpass. How extensive is this current avatar of this project?
So it is the North Plaza, the area between the Amtrak station and the Children's Discovery Museum. And then we have the South Plaza, which is the area right around the Amtrak station. Amphitheater plans there.
Ryan, can you speak to like what if you were, sometimes hard to remember all the numbers, what was the bid, letting, what are you taking, what's the pinch point?
Yeah, overall, project budget went up about 12 million from what was planned in the original grant documents. So bids came in higher, construction's higher. Obviously, the grant was from 2019. So things happened since then and costs have increased. So most of the increased costs are related to inflationary factors, increased in costs for everything from labor to materials to just all the changes we've seen in the world since COVID.
Yep. It's all public, so I mean, I guess
What's the awarded projected cost? You had an award pending,
Yes, we have an award pending.
so that amount is,
The award, contract award is 32 million.
I didn't get, I got to keep up with.
It's good. Yep.
out of reserves, or what are you looking to do it out of? How you looking to cover it?
Proposed is a $12 million bond issue.
Thanks. Good to know how others are handling. We've had to do reserves, we've had to do bonds. It's just always good to see how our other partners are doing it.
Good luck on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything exciting going on? Okay, hearing none. That which may arise that can't cover, I guess. In the next scheduled meeting, November 21st, before Thanksgiving. And I won't be here, so Jan will be chairing for me, and may join virtually, depends. And I just want to note, the meeting will be 11 a.m. Instead of 10:30 that we usually meet.
Yeah, we're going back to our usual meeting somewhere. We pushed it back a little bit in the hope that one of the policy members could join us at 11 and then skedaddle to another meeting. See if she shows. And then we will, same thing basically on the 21st, we'll have tech at 11 and policy at 11:30.
We do the same thing in December then.
Yes. But when, it's when we talk about the schedule, we
It
always
truly
say-
is the holidays.
Well, and it's kind of a pain to double them up just because, as you know, what kind of think about the recommendations in all their form from the technical. But we, needs must, and I think I would be too happy showing up here the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay, anything else? All right. So I'll entertain motion for adjournment. So moved. Okay, Jim. Second. Are you fired up? All right. All right. Those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Hearing none, meeting's adjourned. Thank you so much.